Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Tier 3 Tonight, where we will be bringing you the all-encompassing coverage of the LCS Challengers League qualifiers in 90 minutes. We are back with Week 8 now, and what a journey it has been, and what a journey we yet still have to go. I am, of course, Hawk, and joining me is my amazing co-host, Grapes.
Hawk, it's great to be here. Great to be here, waking up early with you guys here on the LCS Challengers League broadcast because of the fact that, of course, LCS playoffs, NACL playoffs are happening on Thursdays for the next 2 weeks. This is going to be your time slot for Tier 3 action both this week and next week. So if you want a recap of all the upcoming games, which will lead into our top 4, you got to be right back here at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And make sure you do stick around because, as you said, Hawk, there's a ton of exciting games that we are going to cover here. Some great content that we were able to shoot with some players, and I'm ready to get through all of it here today.
Yeah, and Grapes, these might just be the 2 most exciting weeks of Tier 3 that we have as well, because it is the race for promotion in full swing right now. So you don't want to miss a beat. Shout out to all the viewers that are here for our earlier time slot this week. But before we get started with this past week games, let's take a quick look at where our groups stand after the first week of GSL.
You can see right here, the upper bracket matchups are the teams listed on top, and the lower bracket matchups are listed on the teams down at the bottom. So what that means is that each of these 8 matchups did take place over this past weekend, and that's what we're going to be covering here. The winners of the upper bracket matchups, the ones up on the top of your screen, the winners of that one are the winners of your groups and make it into the quarterfinals. The losers of the losers bracket matchups are out. Now, it is also important to note, unfortunately, Fly Family did have to forfeit their game again against the Nameless, which does mean the Nameless were granted a win. But that also means there were only 7 series for us to recap here today.
And hey, Grapes, it does mean as well that we had our first upset of the tournament. Because as you can see, looking across these groups right here, no upsets in the first round of games. Some close calls for a couple of teams. Looking at ones like Ole Miss, Lotus, they got pushed to 3. However, the results were as expected. But we can now jump into our Group A overview to look at how exactly this one has shaken out so far. Grapes, as you said, Fly Family has unfortunately forfeited the entire tournament, so the Nameless is winning that A4 match, and they will face the loser of Winthrop versus Gentle Hearts, which is the match we will be covering this week.
Yeah, a super exciting game between those 2 teams. These teams have faced off against each other, both in the Swiss last time around, and also the last group stage, where they were both in Group B together. Gentle Hearts did not make it into the quarterfinals in that qualifier. They're going to have to do that and a little bit more in order to continue their season and make their way into the promotion tournament.
Yep, so we can get into the promotion pack, rather the highlight package right now on the quest to promotion. Like you said, Winthrop, if they win, they are in, and it's going to get started in a pretty good fashion for Denethor in the top lane as he finds one on the Soul under the tower. But wait a minute, in the bottom lane, Ariandel, he's getting involved in Grapes. This Aurelian Soul, which is a champion we saw a few more times this week, is going to get going early.
Yeah, just remember that champion's name, Aurelian Soul. We're going to see it a little bit more here today, but as you said, Hawk, the solo laners for both of these teams being hugely impactful. Denethor having a tremendous game 1. And the To the Skies here, combined with the 5-man ulti from Soul and the Gnar, that's going to allow Gentle Hearts to get themselves back into this game. They have they were down in gold for a large portion of the early game, and that brings them right back to even.
Yeah, Denethor was big. He found 3, but Ariandel was even bigger with the ASO ultimate. Now, Gentle Hearts, they got a lead. They're going to try to secure the Baron to really solidify it. They do get it, but wait a minute, Grapes. They are trapped in the pit, and a big shutdown available onto Ariandel as well. Denethor survives. Okay, maybe drops in the end. A couple drop in the end, but Winthrop managed to keep things even. Gentle Hearts, though, with that Baron, they do get about a 5,000 gold advantage, and Winthrop, they go for the Realm Warp play, and it looks good at the start. They find the initial kill onto Inori B, but just watch the chase down here from Soul and Ariandel as the slows come through, the movement speed comes through, the dash over the wall comes through, and Gentle Hearts in a 35-minute game 1, Grapes, they take the upset.
Yeah, both teams scaled pretty well in the late game, but Gentle Hearts had it early and Soul got there a little bit faster. We head into game 2, and we're focused on the early game. This time down bottom is Wokow getting things active early, allowing for mobility to get onto the board for a couple.
Yeah, they find 3 kills here in the bottom lane without dropping anybody, seemingly against all odds. And it is a disaster for Gentle Hearts early. And what do Mobilities and Chucky do best when they get ahead? They start diving towers, getting the chunk onto Inora B and Rocks. And even though they're not the ones that are going to clean up the initial kills, here comes Wokow, level 6 on the Lee Sin, finding the kickback onto Rocks as well as the kill onto Inori B. And things are looking difficult to start off game 2. However, despite that, the game somewhat close. But Winthrop, their mid-game Drake fights, Grapes, are so often what wins them these games, as the kiting is beautiful. Denethor came off the flank. You can see the kick onto Ariandel earlier to deny the good Pop Blossom, and Winthrop 5 for 0 at the 3rd Dragon.
And you can see the gold lead right now, 15,000 at 24.5 minutes. Sword had a decent game on the rise, but was a little bit outmatched by Ariandel in game number 1. This time going legendary on this Ari pick, something he's been known for a long time. And look at Wokow in there with the insect to finish things off and send us to that deciding game 3.
Look at that last charm onto Ariandel, diving the Nexus Towers. I mean, Winthrop, that was a stomp in game 2, but decisive game 3. Can Gentle Hearts bounce back? Well, okay, not to start off. Soul, he's under threat yet again. Not his best series, unfortunately. I mean, Denethor has just had everyone's number seemingly, but with the 2v2 now in bottom, mobility, he's getting low, but he's flashing over the Bard Q. He will die to the minions and the Ignite, but the double kill means that things are looking good for Winthrop early on in both side lanes. Wokow, he's diving Soul. He does get traded back on, but Denethor will find the answer onto him. With Ariandel arriving, though, surely this one gets traded over. Tower shot. Okay, Denethor, he's pretty low. Ariandel, Grapes, he gets him, right? Oh, no.
Oh, no. Here comes Sword as well. The Pop Blossom. Hey, remember Denethor used to be known as a Camille one-trick. Well, he can still play that champion pretty well, Hawk. It's 16 minutes in. Winthrop have already collected 4 kills. They're looking for some more here as Wokow goes for a dive. A nice seismic shove, keeping things away for a little bit. And Sword on his signature Nico comes in with a huge ultimate under the tower. And that is the beginning of the end. Another big Pop Blossom for Sword. And they racking the kills up here. And they're going to take this 2-1 over Gentle Hearts.
Yeah, and you can see 40 kills in 24 minutes, Grapes. I believe they ended this game with 42. Yeah, games 2 and 3 were pretty one-sided as Winthrop is able to wrap up this series in the fashion they would have wanted. Shout out to Gentle Hearts, though, in particular, that ASOL pick looking effective in game 1 for Ariandel, pushing one of our favorites to the brink.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid game in that first one. Obviously, you have the Aurelion Soul and Sivir comp, like, you're going to be able to scale pretty well, but look at the champions that were on the other side for Winthrop. It's not like they were, it's not like they fell off in any way. Denethor had a great early game, and then you have Kindred, Varus, Rise here for Sword. Not going to matter at the end of the day, as it is Gentle Hearts, unfortunately falling down to the losers bracket, where they will face off against the Nameless.
Now let's take a look at our Group A standings. Again, the Nameless in to face Gentle Hearts. That one is for all the marbles. Grapes, that is, I think, going to be actually a very sneakily exciting series. But, with, Fly Fam being done, this is it. This is it between these two teams.
And it's been a little bit hard to read this group just because of the FF, so we've only seen one matchup per week in Group A specifically, and both of them have involved Winthrop. So we've only seen one series each of Gentle Hearts and the Nameless, which it makes it a little bit difficult to figure out where exactly we think they stand. So, you know, both had pretty decent performances against Winthrop. Gentle Hearts, of course, able to actually take that game, which I think means that this series, to make it into the quarterfinals, will be an interesting one.
Absolutely. And as for Winthrop getting out in first place, a couple of shaky games, I feel like, in the group stage, both against the Nameless or Gentle Hearts. But overall, it was a similarly dominant performance to what we expected. And they are out there, or rather into promotion, out of the group. They are looking like one of the teams to beat in this tournament. But Grapes, we can go ahead and toss it over to Group B now, as we're going to go through both Group A and B at the same time. It was Blue Otter that took down Nigel's Last Tiles in the first round last week. Pulsar taking down ISU. Blue Otter versus Pulse now to get out of the group and into the knockout stage. ISU versus Nigel's in the bottom.
Yeah, and this was an exciting series, especially towards the top with Blue Otter and Pulse, both looking very solid in their first couple of weeks of Qualifier number 2. ISU and Nigel's, they're going to play for long team fights, and that is an exciting one if you are a fan of really high-quality team fights in League of Legends as a whole. So a lot to look for in Group B, and let's get started right away with our upper bracket matchup between Blue Otter and Pulse.
And this was one we were very excited for, Grapes, as you alluded to. I think we were expecting this was Pulse's test to maybe try and challenge the top 6. We had a headline on Salty Runback this prior week about, is Pulse able to contend with the top 6? And this is a team that we thought might be able to. And they are competitive. As you can see at the start of this play, they found 3 kills on the bottom side. But that's not the story here, Grapes. The story is that Samikin got his Zoe. He, in the 1v3, has already found 2. He's gonna find the Sleepy Trouble Bubble under Reppy, and he's gonna clean up the 3v1.
Yeah, somehow Pulse decided to leave that one unbanned, unlike any other team has done so far. Lunar on the Kaisa has had a pretty solid start to this game, though. Now sitting at 4-1-2 after that successful dive at the bottom lane. They're going to try to make it useful here, but Lynx has a good angle here on the Smolder, and watch Samikin's bubble onto Lunar right here. That's the biggest carry, trapped under the wave, and that is all it's going to take. And watch this play once again here. Samikin buffering the flash, going over the wall, and picking up another kill onto Kryra.
I mean, Samikin's Zoe, man. We could have made a highlight reel just of his Zoe plays. Look at that scoreline. 7-0-3, full commit onto him. They were just trying to get the shutdown. They're trying to get something back. The bottom lane going to get double killed anyway. Here comes the remainder of the fight. Only 28 minutes in. That's another kill, another Sleepy Trouble Bubble. 11-0-5 to end the game. Samikin Zoe went nuclear in game 1 to prevent any sort of upset. Pulse, though, they're going to try to bounce back. The way they played around the bottom side last time was pretty solid, and this time Blue Otter, they want to disrupt it. Reppy gets his signature pick with the Akali, rather, and in the bot side dive, he does help clean them clean it up.
And watch this flank here from Shocky on the Aatrox around the Dragon as well. Reppy dashing in with the perfect execution. Pulsar getting things off on the right foot. And look at the tanks that they have in this composition as well, Hawk. They have a Zac, they have an Ornn. The engage from Music on the Nocturne Ori is big, but they just cannot do anything after that combination has been already used.
Yeah, you know, a team of the caliber of Blue Otter, they're not going to go down easy, but this Pulsar composition, so tanky, goes down even harder. Lynx tried with the flamethrower, just didn't quite have the best secondary gun, not able to do it in the extents. Look at the Shocky flashing in on low HP to secure those couple of kills, and now we got another dragon fight. Lunar, yeah, he didn't have that much fun this game. They pressed R on him a lot with Nocturne Ori, but the rest of the Bash brothers diving into the choke. This fight might have been even the most crazy. TP from Shocky just to try to keep some of the blobs alive. Pulse even in the choke point surviving, and yet another one in top where Blue Otter just can't really find anything back.
Yeah, if you're the Senna and you're the only one that Blue Otter can kill, that's a win for your team. You see Reppy here having an incredible fight here already, going golden under the shroud, dashing in, somehow is going to live through this entire affair, and Pulsar will send us to our second straight Game 3.
And Grapes, we're having Game 3s, we're having exciting matches. Pulse, can they upset right here. They're going to bring everybody bot. They got an early game composition going for broke. First blood is traded between the couple teams. Maybe they can get one under the tower. Kalista looking for the Ren. Nice flash from Lynx. And wait, that's a hook. That's a hook from Rovex. That's 2 kills. They ate some shots. Pulse, they give up 3.
Oh, no. 3-1. And hey, with all the resources they already used towards the bottom lane, Samikin on the Vex can now impact top. And things go from bad to worse and even worse than worse here for Pulsar in this game 3. Samikin having a big game here, roaming down on the Vex. Music going to be able to pick that one up. 9-2, you already see. And Pulse is going to try to find something back. They finally get a kill onto Music, but on this extended chase, they just cannot kill anybody. And in comes the rest of the cavalry to save the day.
Yeah, Grapes, I think with that pick right there on the Music, I believe my casting call, the game was streamed on Salty Runback, was Kryra hits a huge 3 to cut the lead to 42. Unfortunately, this game was just so fried Pulse. They risked it all on the bottom lane play. It came up tails, but Blue Otter, I mean, the way they punished, consolidated, and completely destroyed Pulse, not letting them run over the game and instead winning it in 21.5 minutes. I mean, that is a statement win. Blue Otter, they're moving out of the quarterfinals with the first seed out of Group B.
A very interesting 2-1 as the final scoreline here, Hawk. Blue Otter definitely looked like they ran away with the 2 wins that they had. However, that game 2 in the middle was pretty competitive, and at the end of the day, a relatively convincing win for Pulsar. They still look like a very solid team, specifically through their jungler Kryra, who him and Music just had an absolute battle for the ages across all 3 of these games. And if that early game went a little bit different in game 3, we might be talking about this series a whole lot differently.
Yeah. Grapes, I would not be upset. As a jungle connoisseur myself, to see Music and Kryra play against each other again would be so much fun. Those two at the top of their game. Only other thing I have to say, hey guys, maybe we don't give Samikin Zoe.
Yeah,
that looked absolutely freaking disgusting in game 1. But Grapes, let's move on to our second series now. Nigel's Last Tiles up against ISU. One of our lower seeded teams coming out of the open qualifier, trying to make things happen.
Yeah, and they already have some changes to their roster. They've Altio down in the bottom lane, Insane's in the support position for this game specifically, and things are going well for Nigel's early here. They have a fighter on the Dragon. Evan Lai on his signature Zac is not going to be able to survive, at least here for now, as in comes the rest of the fight, potentially for ISU. Drew Dozer on the Tristana, almost able to pick up a kill, but not able to get a thing.
Yeah, and look, ISU... They tried to get something back. They just weren't quite there yet. The flash in, though, and that's a huge Seraphine ultimate. Wait a minute. Here come the Redbirds. Drew Dozer's resetting with the Tristana. They're going to find a 3, make that 4 for 0, and I believe a Baron off the back of this play as well. That's Seraphine ulti from Tempos, the double support bottom lane, remember, for the Redbirds, turning the series around potentially, or at least this game number 1.
Yeah, I was surprised that Nosko was able to get his hands on that Senna. Hey, Nigel's winning in the early game for the first time, maybe ever, from what we've seen out of them so far. But unfortunately for them, this time it doesn't result in a win. ISU able to get the Baron. Remember, it's bangers only here with this squad, Hawk, and they take game 1.
Yeah, it might not have been a long game, but Nigel's definitely made them work for it. And yet again, they're going to get up to their winning ways in the early stages of the game, which... not a tale we were necessarily singing through their first stage of GSL as well as their Swiss run. Redbirds, though, they're still keeping things close. The gold advantage only about 5,000 here, 20 minutes in. But with Nigel securing the Baron, they're gonna clean up the kills as well. Those Ivern bushes just doing so much work. The Redbirds had no answer.
Hey, shout out to Tempos, able to not die 30 minutes into a game against a Draven on Zillion. I mean, that just goes to show how strong he is on this pick. They try to go a little bit too far. Drew Dozer on the cast, able to get a double kill in response. However, after finishing off Ultio, ISU looking like they could potentially go forward, but it's a 4v5, and remember that Elias is on this Aurelion Soul. Going to continue to be a storyline throughout this show, Hawk. It is so strong. Going to carry them to a 4v5 win.
Yeah, Nigel's, they kind of messed around a little bit after they got that Baron. They got a huge lead, and then they all died in the Redbirds base. They got a huge lead, and then they all died on the Redbirds base. Fortunately, Aurelion Soul scaling is too strong even for a little bit of mishaps in ending the game. Nigels, they get it done. Grapes, we're 3 for 3 in game 3s so far, and now another bot dive. Nigels, where's this early game team been the entire tournament?
I know, Evan Lai getting active on the map level 3 does trade that 1-for-1, and that means that it still is anybody's game. You can see here ISU with their brand Nami bot lane. They got Cross on the Trundle, trying to make things happen here, but it was not enough. Evan Lai still super strong with a Sundered Sky Volley Bear, able to finish off the kill onto Cross.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, it's just looking so difficult. Even though the kill score is very close, Tiles definitely has a solid lead. Your Dozer, he's going to give over another one as the Fate Sealed. Just a little too short. Tempo's going to die as well. And with the kills just being traded over too quickly, look at this, Grapes. Now, nearly 30 minutes in, over 10,000 gold in the lead. ISU, it is all desperation with no traditional marksman.
Yeah, one last fight, and kind of all over the place here, but it does result in Nigels running it down mid. One last stun onto Tempos, and ISU, despite making the quarterfinals in Qualifier 1, unfortunately ran into some issues with their roster, were unable to play with their intended group of 5, and because of that, they end up dropping out early and having their Qualifier season end here this weekend.
Yeah, this was one of the teams, Grapes. We had them in our first 4 out last time. And unfortunately, it does seem like out is going to be the way, as they can no longer make the promotion tournament. Shout out the Redbirds, though. They really showed up this spring, most certainly. And shout out Nigel's last Tiles. Again, looking like an early game team in this series, which is something we had not seen from them. Team fighting very well. They were doing so with a sub of their own, mind you. This is a team that I'm very excited for moving forward. And they might, as we can flip over to the standings, be able to potentially take down what is, to be fair, a very dangerous Polestar next week.
It's such a clash of differences in terms of play styles. Nigel's, of course, playing a lot of the late game fights really well. Of course, they had a little bit of the early game to show for themselves against ISU, but Polestar known to blitz teams in the early game, right? You have Kryra going crazy. Lunar and Just have actually been a very solid laning bottom lane, and so if Nigels are going to want to keep up, unlike they did against Blue Water, they're going to have to make sure that their early game is tight like it was against ISU, and they don't fall far behind in the early game like they did in the Swiss rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out, of course, as well, to Blue Otter making it out of the group into the quarterfinals. But, Grapes, before we go forward with Group C and D, we do want to circle back really quick to Group A, where I got a chance to bring back everybody's favorite Tier 3 Tonight content series, Riverhawk Talk, this time with the bottom lane of Gentle Hearts. Let's check it out. No pressure, but I've done this 3 times now, and we have yet to lose. Inori, I'll go to you first. What has it been like slotting into this team?
I think it feels nice. I feel like I fit pretty well on that team, and they needed a mechanical player. And it slid pretty well because I don't have to do much. I just gotta play the game.
I'm just gonna get the spice going early. Do we have any response for our former support? I gotta know.
I think Sushi's a bit better than Inori to start some heat, you know?
I think he's just biased because he's QC, but like, you know, I see Sushi play, like, he's down 40 CS against Levitate, right? Like, that cannot be real.
That looks like a very gankable wave state. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah,
we can solo kill them.
No flash center?
Yeah, well, yeah, come on down.
Right, yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah. Big, nice.
This is the Rox 908 experience. Rox, I'm gonna say you are a psycho in the support position. Do you want that to be your trademark style?
I mean, hold on. Let's kill this guy first. Let's tank. Go.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, and he's out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely prefer like being an insane engaged. I mean, like the dopamine hit I just got from that was beautiful. I think this last week has been one of our greatest weeks of improvement.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think we've been struggling a little bit over the last 2-3 weeks. We haven't really been synergizing well. A couple of miscommunications or aligned thought processes. But this last week we've definitely seen a lot of improvement. Yo, when you clear down, you want to play right here?
Yeah, I'm down.
Not let him participate in the video game anymore. I'm sorry, we're gonna make this one quick. Oh, you got him. Oh, you got him.
I mean, caster low or what? Wait, he's alive. Did you see
no, you're good. Oh, they really think that's gonna save him?
Oh, no.
So I do serving as well as playing League, so I serve at an Italian place. I like to go out. I've been getting into like pool lately.
Ooh, okay.
I'm about to go get my own pool stick. I think like angle like after league is all over, like I could definitely see myself like trying to play competitive pool. Based on this game, I think we might be winning the whole tournament.
Yeah, I think so, man.
If this game is like any representation.
Urgot's on the way. Hey, kill. Free kill.
Oh.
Oh, they should.
All right,
Oh,
guys,
shit.
we are gaming a little too
No,
hard.
no.
Oh, this guy took my raptors. Wait, hang on.
Oh,
That's illegal.
no, that can't go unpunished.
Oh, I'm actually very dead.
Oh, holy shit.
Inori, how about the montage play that we had? I think it was in open qualifiers where you fought an entire team fight on 1 HP as Callista. Tell me about that. That play was sick.
That was the third game.
In people's eyes, people think the play is sick, but like in other people's eyes, people think it's troll, and it's pretty troll. That was through the whole fight.
Baron or FF?
Whoa.
Oh,
Oh wait, I'm
Oh,
griefing.
no.
Oh,
I'm griefing. I'm
Oh, shit.
completely griefing.
I think we just lost.
Guys, this one's looking a little tough. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie, we gotta focus up.
Yeah. We gotta buckle down.
We gotta focus up and win the game.
All right. No more interview questions until we win a team fight. All right. Reset.
I white ball here.
Get the friends. Let's reset steady time.
Oh,
What is my 80 doing?
Oh no.
oh shit.
Oh, he
Try to get in
revived
there,
everyone
try to get in
too.
there, try to get in there. Oh no! Bless this norm game. We need all the blessings right now.
Is this more intense than the scrims you guys just played?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, our jungler is dead.
So Inori, last time I know you didn't. Oh, I'm gonna die to tower, by the way. Inori, last time you did an interview with Grapes, you said you were the best mechanical talent or mechanical AD carry prospect.
I think to be the best at mechanics, you just have to play high intensity champions. Like I don't see anyone like playing Draven as Folus, you know what I mean? Or like people like spamming Callista as Folus, you know what I mean? So like if you play really high mechanical champions all the time, like you're just gonna focus on that one style of play, and that's what I've been doing for like 10 plus years.
Alright, let's see if we can hit the smite. Okay.
Not even needed. All right,
My
my AD carry had it.
I get a penta here.
Before I let you go, I'll leave it open to each of you, and I'll come to you first. Anything you want to add about the tournament as a whole, or you as a player? Anything that you want the people to know?
I think the tournament is really, really fun, and I love playing competitively. Hopefully, I can get to the next step and like stop wasting my talent. That's all.
You know, I've been trying to prove something for a long time, and I still feel like I can prove it, and I will prove it. And whether it's like whatever roster it's with, hopefully promoting with this one, I'll be able to prove it and prove it soon.
My Twitter is @InoriBoob. My Twitch is InoriB1v9. I rarely stream, but I do stream now and then just to play solo queue. That's all. And show off my WASD camera movement if you want to watch.
Wait, what?
You can find me on Twitter at Rox908 LOL, and then on Twitch it's just Rox908. I used to stream a lot. I've been streaming like a little. I've been picking it up a little bit more recently. So yeah, you can probably catch me there soon.
Thanks again to the bot lane of Gentle Hearts for joining me. That was Grapes, maybe the biggest banger we've had on Riverhawk Talk so far, gameplay wise. We were sweating a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was about to say, like, did you guys lose that game as they were like in your base? But then, hey, you got
It was
two
looking
pro
a little
players on
shady
your
for a
team.
second there. I won't lie.
You know, you got the pros. Shout out to Noribi and Rox. They ended up carrying you. 80k damage on the Jinx. That's wild.
Yeah, definitely. But Grapes, we still got 2 more groups to get into, so let's not waste a second and pull up that Group C overview, where we naturally had our favorites move on. CCG against Miss, Wang against Castleberry. However, Ole Miss did get pushed to 3 games, and Grapes, this was also between Ole Miss and CCG, our Tier 3 tonight match of the week.
Yeah, exactly. Some really heavy hitters for both of these teams. It's the, you know, old versus the new in like kind of different ways, where CCG is the team coming in for the second qualifier with a lot of new veterans, where Ole Miss is the stalwart, with some, players making it onto the qualifier stage for their first time. But they have their top 4 spot. They want to make sure they hold on to it, and CCG is one of the teams that could threaten that opportunity for them getting into the promotion tournament. So for Ole Miss, a win here, absolutely critical.
For both teams, honestly, a win absolutely critical. And let's see if CCG can be that big threat that they were hyped up to be as we will start the highlight package. Folks, hang on to your hats because we got a good one.
Hey, so remember, we're playing on the live patch right now, and that means that Kog'Maw got buffed. I know Shogo got into a little bit of drama about the pick on Twitter a couple of days ago, but he played it here in this game. He looked super good on it. They really tried to focus hard towards the bottom lane the entirety of the early game, but Bradley on the Ace-Ul getting a couple kills back. He gets another one here, but now look at Shogo. Bork, Rageblade, Berserkers, that is 2 full items plus boots, and he absolutely takes over this fight.
Yeah, and I mean, this is yet again battle of Fed AD carry against battle of Fed mid laner, because I will say, despite all this, check out Bradley's scoreline. He is now 5-0-1 against Shogo's legendary Kog'Maw as Ole Miss. They tried to get the Baron, but wait a minute, the Aurelion Soul secured it. Bradley somehow gets the last hit, and are they winning the fight? No, they're not. They're going to all have to run for the hills. Ole Miss cleaning it up. They have the Ocean Soul in hand, by the way. And now 30 minutes into the game, despite losing that Baron, they're pushing into the base. They want to wrap things up, Grapes. But here comes Crimson on the flank. Icelandic forced to get low. And Bradley, he's already got a double. That's one going over to Instinct. Shogo is going to die to the Varus. And wait a minute. Ole Miss, they're struggling to close this one out.
Soul Elder here in this one as well, but it just expires as soon as Ole Miss decides to go in. A critical mistake on their part, already resulting in 2 kills. CCG were stranded in their base for 15 straight minutes, but Bradley's able to come alive, end this game 11-0 as Shogo, the only one left to go. Oh my goodness, can he do this? 1v5? Just barely wasn't able to. The health bars were low, but CCG held strong. They ran it down mid to end game 1 in a dramatic fashion.
Yeah, I mean, that first game was absolutely insane, and Grapes' game 2 might be even crazier. Shogo, no stranger to the crazy picks. Look at that, the Bane sniping Instinct out of the wall, picking up 1, and now into the fight around mid. Trevor, he's trying to keep everybody alive. The Wukong spinning to win, but it's Lee Sin in the early game. You can't out-skirmish that.
Yeah, Icelandic had a great early game. Uncle Sam somehow living through that entire exchange. Looks like Ole Miss are going to come out ahead on this one, but here comes the cavalry. Instinct and Crimson have arrived. They're going to clean up another kill onto Icelandic and Stray, the last victim here to keep things on an even game state. Ole Miss still find themselves pretty ahead, though. They're up 3 dragons to nothing. This could be the one for the soul. But watch Yukino here. Uncle Sam goes a little bit too aggressive, and then the Monkey about to shut things down here with the Cyclone, finding 2 and allowing for the fight to win.
Yeah, and CCG keeping things competitive. We are well over a kill per minute, by the way. And I mean, like, well over. What is this going to be, like 30 kills at 20 minutes? Now, at the 35-minute Dragon, CCG, they managed to deny that one. Can Ole Miss get this one? If they get the Mountain Soul, surely the Soul will be enough to win it this game, right? Everybody's low. Mid laners have been traded. It feels like if anyone can start a fight, it will just be Doom. No! Yukino, he hits another smite. He will die for it, but that's fine. Third Mountain Dragon over to CCG. It denies the soul yet again. They're going to get some of their members away. Ole Miss, they clean up the most of them, but it's not enough to take a decisive advantage. And now it's the decisive fight. 7th Dragon. That's a great commit by CCG, finding out 2 in the side of the jungle. Shogo, it's all on him, but the Dragon's already gone. No smite for Ole Miss, meaning Mountain Soul to CCG.
Yeah, call Ole Miss the 04 Yankees the way they blew a 3-0 lead in terms of the Dragon department. 4 straight mountains here for CCG. Shogo gonna have one last attempt, fighting 2v5 with Rhino by his side, but Yukino, the hero towards the end of this one, as CCG but somehow are able to run away with a 2-0 victory. Look at the kills here as well. Ole Miss was ahead in kills in both of these games. Did not matter, though, as it is a 2-0 at the end of the day.
And, I mean, what a crazy series it was. To only be a 2-0 as well, and I think this speaks to how strong CCG is. Bradley in particular, he is playing out of his mind, Grapes, on this pick. But Ole Miss I mean, they had winning chances in those games. I mean, we want to talk about Dragon Throws, the 0-4 Yankees, if they were that in Game 2. In Game 1, they were just doing what they saw their favorite LCS team, Shopify Rebellion, do with the Elder Dragon by diving as it expires, Grapes.
Yeah, Ole Miss had the game in their grasp, but of course, just the talent on the CCG roster was enough for them to hold their ground enough to win with just the hands that they have on their players. And so that will advance CCG into the quarterfinals, and that brings Ole Miss down to the lower bracket where they're now going to be in elimination status for the remainder of this qualifier.
Yeah, let's not waste any time finding out who that's going to be as we have our second highlight package, Castleberry, up against Wang's Revenge. Castleberry, another one of our lower seeded teams, coming into this tournament, making the group stage against all odds, and winning this fight as well. Or are they? Debonair is trying to go crazy on the Swain.
Yeah, the Swain pick, a new one. Haven't seen that too much, especially in the mid lane here for Debonair. The presence of mind keeping him alive, able to get a kill onto Barlow. That's a triple kill here for Debonair as Wang have a big lead here 24 minutes in.
Grapes, we have seen some mid-lane pop-off performances so far in these highlight packages. We're still only a little over halfway through. Debonair going crazy yet again. However, the game overall still very close. Castleberry actually nursing a gold lead, and they still have access to their mid-lane tier 1. It's going to be support traded for support to get things started, keeping things close. Wang's Revenge, they have the soul. They want to get the Baron, and Castleberry forced to run for the hills, and yet again, it just feels like it's Boil the Oil and Co. The healing from Wang's Revenge. It's too strong, and they will secure the Elder as well as Game 1.
Nightstar tried. He tried very hard on the Jinx in game number 1. Ended 9-5-4. Not enough to allow Castleberry to take the win. He's going to try again, though, this time on the Zeri. Going to get a kill here onto Debonair in this wonky fight around the Drake. And AHJ as well on the Yone looking for something. Finds a big tornado. And Nightstar going to try to clean things up. Look at Deathwalker, though. Pops the Feather Storm to try to keep himself alive. But Nightstar looking to run in, but Deathwalker with a big flash will shut it down for Wang.
Oh, Nightstar had the Zeri moment in his eyes. You could see it, but unfortunately the vision play was nice. Wang able to shut them down, but yet again, Wang up and kills early. It's actually Castleberry that has the gold advantage, just like in game number 1. Super nice hostile takeover to try to disengage the fight. They do get the dragon, but the chase down is better as Castleberry picks up more kills. And with this scaling Zeri, just look at how Nightstar is able to start kiting these ones up. He's already found 2, and Castleberry, they're going to win yet another fight.
Boil the Oil on the set. He stayed alive for a while. Very good on this champion specifically. But all of a sudden, it is Castleberry that retakes the lead. But the dragon was stolen away there by Deathwalker. Now, can Wang's Revenge end up escaping? Here comes Boil. Ulti onto Castle, but watch Nightstar as well. He's in a 1v3 situation here towards the end of the game. Picks up one. Gonna try to finish off another one. Hey, by the way, wasn't in this highlight package at this moment, but Nightstar also had a pentakill in this game. We're gonna maybe see that a little bit later on. Castleberry off to a tremendous comeback into this one. They're up 4,000 gold and looking for more.
Yeah, Grapes, I think ask and you shall receive, because we're already up to a double. The chase down from Castleberry going to come through. Nightstar, he's got the kills in his eyes. The slow on to Debonair. They don't need a soul. They don't need a Baron. They just need this 14 kill Zeri to try and run everybody down. And now our fourth out of 5 series, Grapes, we are going to a game 3.
Man, we just keep having maximum action here in the NACL qualifiers. Elimination at the stakes for both of these teams. Boil the Oil getting things started with a nice solo kill on to Geiger. Looks like he's going to try to escape this one as well. Castle looking for the trade. Will he be able to get it though? Boil the Oil is tanky. Finally able to trade it back.
But yet another dragon fight. We've had a lot of dragon fights in this series because nobody can quite secure them all the way. All the more entertainment for us, as it looks like Debonair are going to try to clean up on the Ahri, but wait a minute, Barlow and Co., they're quite tanky, quite difficult to take down, and yet again, it's Wang's. They're the ones with Boil the Oil leading the charge. They'll go up early in the kills, but the gold is still going to be so close. However, they do manage to find a Baron. It's an okay but not good enough Pop Blossom for AHJ as the turnaround. Deathwalker untouched on the on-hit Varus.
And hey, he saw Nightstar's pop-off performance in Game 2 and said, hey, I could do you one better here. Has the quadra kill, looking for the final one to finish this game off. Rapid, finding the cube, pushing Geiger back onto the tower. And just a couple more autos is all it's going to take. Nice job by Debonair, setting it up for his boy down there in the AD carry position. A pentakill for Deathwalker.
A pentakill, second one of the series, and these teams not done throwing haymakers at each other, but unfortunately, Castleberry mostly on the receiving end. The Pop Blossom was great, the follow-up not there, the gold simply not in hand. As a Wang's Revenge, they will clean up this fight, they will clean up this series. Game 3 may be the most dominant of them all, but shout out to Castleberry for putting up a great fight.
What a battle between the bottom laners, for real, Hawk. Both Deathwalker and Nightstar, incredible performances across the series. Nightstar, of course, on the MF. When your team isn't doing a lot and you're playing Misfortune, hard to find a bunch of kills, but in games 1 and 2 specifically, had tremendous appearances, and of course Deathwalker on the other side as well. Very solid Wang's Revenge team. Remember that we were a little bit shaky on them for a while, and they ended up taking it.
We can take a quick look at the Group C results now. Castleberry, unfortunately, their road is over. CCG, they're taking the all-coveted first seed out of Group C. And now, yet again, Ole Miss fighting for their tournament lives in the decider to try and get to the promotion tournament.
Yeah, it's a matchup that happened already, as you said. Wang did take a game against Ole Miss, and you know that they remember that and want a chance at revenge. Speaking of Wang's Revenge, I ended up talking with their mid laner Debonair after their series against Castleberry to see what they thought about the upcoming qualifier. I'm here with Debonair, the mid laner for Wang's Revenge after their thrilling 2-1 victory over Castleberry to stay alive in the NACL qualifiers. Debonair, first of all, congratulations. I want you to cast your minds back to the end of that series because it was a long one. It ended with your ADC basically getting a pentakill and then eventually the game ending after that. Do you remember the comms of what it was like before that pentakill or during the penta and everything like that?
I do remember. So after game 2, after Nightstar got a penta on us, we're like, wow, Deathwalker, you need to like one-up this guy next game. So next game, when we saw Deathwalker was about to get a pentakill, he was actually the one saying it first. He was like, give me my penta, give me my penta, it's my time first. And then we're all kind of just playing, give him the penta. Like, I don't think any of us were thinking of stealing the penta, maybe me, but we all really wanted our ADC to get a penta. That's all I know.
Hey, you know, in my opinion, if you ever get a penta on a champion that's not Zeri or Smolder, it's even more impressive. So you got on the Varus.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, basically won in both ways at the end of that. But this is the second tournament that you guys have been playing in. You ran the roster all the way back. What was it like coming together with this group of players, and how have you guys grown throughout this event?
Getting with this group of players, honestly, it was pretty fun because we were all friends before. It wasn't really just like, hey, you want to come try out? Like, let's all just start a team. It was like, hey, I'm friends with this guy. Let's bring him in and then see how we mesh with each other. And I think we've grown really far as a team. Especially, I think most of us don't have like a huge champion pool. So we were all pressuring each other to like, hey, practice this champion in solo queue. Hey, we need to like open up our variety of champions, and we've all helped each other grown a lot. And I don't think most of us expected like to get this far, really, considering we're not really a scrim team. I'm pretty sure we've lost like 90% of our scrims, and then on match day we just somehow like perform.
Well, speaking of champ pools, something I forgot to talk about. This series, you played the Swain in game 1 in the mid lane. That's not something that we see too often. Is that kind of a pocket pick for you, or was that one of those things that you as a team kind of wanted to learn in order to expand your pools?
Honestly, we've never practiced with my Swain before. I kind of just saw the angle in game 1, and I was like picking it because I think right now with this meta, everyone is starting to play like ASOL, Ahri right now, and I'm thinking, am I the only mid laner that plays Swain in, you know, top 16 right now? Because I'm thinking Swain is really good into Ahri, Swain is good into ASOL, so I'm like, alright, if they blind pick Ahri or ASOL against me, I'm just gonna slam Swain and see how it goes.
Hey, it worked out, and I feel like you were one of the bigger players, especially in some of those mid-game team fights in that game. So ended up working, and now teams are gonna know That's definitely something that you guys could whip out. You see the logo behind you. You're currently a student at the University of California, Irvine, in their studio right now.
That is correct.
I have 2 questions about the school. Number 1, what's it been like kind of juggling collegiate and semi-pro? And 2, how good was it? How good did it feel to beat them in the first qualifier when you played them in that first round?
Well, first of all, like juggling like all my academics and like, you know, playing like kind of pro league, it definitely is a lot of work considering because I'm also like a bio major, so
Oh wow. Okay.
it's like a lot of studying too. But I think as long as you do time management well and have priorities set, not like slacking off, then it's definitely easily balanceable. And for collegiate, beating them in round 1, honestly, it felt great.
Was there
It
any
felt
was there
really
any
great.
banter? Were you playing in the same facility as the games were happening, or were you playing
No,
back home?
I actually. Oh, during the game against them, no, I wasn't playing in the same facility as them.
Oh man, I can
I
imagine.
thought about
like,
it, and I'm like,
yeah, you stand up, like
Yeah.
trash talk them a little bit, sit
oh
back
yeah,
down.
I'm like, yeah, that's what you get. No, I'm kidding. No, it would have been really fun for sure, but I'm friends with everyone on the team, and it was definitely fun playing against them. Um, it also made it a lot more exciting for me because I'm like, wow, I'm against my own school's team
Yeah.
right now, and I'm like, I gotta try extra hard for this.
Yeah, it must have been pretty good. Before we get into the matchup next week that you have against Ole Miss, I have a kind of a question about the team and the name of the team. You can see here, this is your logo.
Yes.
And I know you weren't on the previous iteration of this team, but there was another one called Wang's Dynasty that
Right.
I think is the same guy. Who is this person, and what is the reasoning behind the team being named this?
I believe that's Deathwalker himself. The
No
Wang.
shot, really?
That is Wang himself, Deathwalker. I'm pretty sure at least. No, yeah, no,
Wow.
I'm like 90% sure that's Wang. And I think we were discussing like, hey, do we want like a logo for our team? And they're like, nah, let's just use this picture.
So
That's kind
is
of just
he-
how it went.
So he's a good violin player, I guess, because he has the last logo was also him playing the violin, if I remember correctly.
I sure hope so. I've never heard him play, but I'd
Dang.
love for him to play for us.
Yeah, maybe if you guys win, he'll play a little song for you before the quarterfinals or something.
Yeah, on stream.
Well, let's talk about next week. Matchup against Ole Miss. You guys
Yeah.
beat them, or took a game off of them, I guess we should say,
Yeah.
in the first round. It's another collegiate team. How are you feeling going in, and do you feel like you are going to be able to make the adjustments that you need in order to make your way into the quarterfinals?
I think going in, we're all really confident, especially after our last series versus Ole Miss. We're like, okay, this team is easily beatable as long as we fix some mistakes here and there. Like, we cannot lose. And I think with our last series, all 3 games we stomped early game, and towards mid and late game, it just turned into, wow, our draft sucks. Wow, our macro sucks. So I think as long as we prep more and talk about what objectives we need to set up for and just like all that mid and late game, I think we should easily be able to. I was gonna say 2-0, but let's go with 2-1 then.
Okay,
Let's
you're
go
gonna give a
2-0.
game at least then. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Debonair. Before we let you go, if you want to deliver a message to any of the fans out there that are watching, whether it's something about you that you want people to know, or maybe any shout-outs that you might have before your could be a really exciting elimination match against Ole Miss this weekend. The floor is all yours.
Let's see. Ole Miss, enemy mid laner. Ole Miss has your Uncle Sam, but after this series, I think everyone's gonna be calling me your daddy Debonair.
No way! Oh my god. Okay, that's the clip.
That's all I gotta say.
That's the
That's
clip
all I gotta
right
say.
there. It's either going to be used for you or against you, Debonair. I'm going to have you know that. So
Hey, I mean, the best type of bantering is right before the match. I won't be bantering after the match, so I gotta talk my talk now.
all right. Hey, at least you're backing it up before you step onto the rift. Thank you very much,
All right.
Debonair, for talking to me, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you, thank you.
Wow, that is a soundbite for the ages, Graves. Your daddy Debonair is wild. But no, thanks again to Debonair for taking the time to sit down. And Graves, we're running a little short on time, so we can go ahead, jump immediately into our Group D matchups. But I love that Group C trash talk.
Oh, it's gonna backfire so hard if they lose. I already know your Uncle Sam has that in his drafts as soon as the episode came out. But here we go. Group D, Taco, BlackRock, Lotus for Illuminate. We got our 2 very close matchups in both the upper and the lower bracket. We both really weren't sure who was going to take either one.
Yeah, and we were now expecting Group D to actually be fairly close based on some of the performances from the first round. Taco, Lotus, potential match of the week contender. Reluminate, BlackRock, we're expecting it to be good. Let's see if that is the case as we can get started with our highlight packages for this first series. And Grapes, you might notice something a little odd.
Yeah,
Team
there's
Fish Taco
Jito in the
has
top
Jito.
lane. Yeah, he's playing Karma. Hey, it's going to work out well. Flash to get Porsche with the root. That's first blood here for Taco, and they're going to keep things going here. Oh, hold on. Levitate level 1. Did Levitate in the base? It doesn't matter, though, right? Taco, they got 2 kills. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, Amazo, he's online. He's huge. He's got 200 CS. Nah, it was, unfortunately, Team Fish Taco was having some major technical issues, and they used up all their pause time. Eventually, the show must go on. The game did start. And hey, Grapes, they put up a valiant effort considering this game was essentially a 4v5 with their substitute top laner to boot, which is their coach, by the way. And
Their coach who doesn't play top lane as well.
Their coach who does not play top lane. And it was a bit of a stomp. But it happened, you know?
Hey, 28.5 minutes, that's longer than a lot of other games that we've seen here on this show in the past. So shout out to Taco for keeping things alive and well. They're going to have a better shot. Their full roster did end up coming back for game number 2. So Tony is in the top lane. Levitate finally has internet connection. And we're going to start things off down there in the bottom lane.
Yep, and it is going to get started with Snow. He's just a little too far forward on the bottom wave, forcing going to pick up a first blood. And yet again, the bottom lane of Lotus feeling very good about their position. But in the tower dive, Team Fish Taco, they're able to get something. And Grapes, avert your eyes.
Oh no, they both died. A mixture under the turret, a 2v1. Hey, at least they're trying. They're making plays, and Levitate and Snow actually had a pretty solid mid game on this Lucian Nami pick. You can see here, nice job in the mid lane. Sorry, Lucian Milio, I should say. However, they maybe went a little bit too far here. Nice flash away from Levitate, and looks like they're going to continue to chase. However, that teleport just means doom and gloom. Levitate going to get caught out, and so is Snow.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have died under the tower to mixture because that guy was really tanky. The Lucian was not doing much to him, and this is not an Energizer Lucian, by the way. This is an actual attempt at tank busting Lucian with the Kraken Slayer. But either way, Lotus with the lead. They start the Baron. Really nice secure. Great zoning from Porsche right there. The follow-up was beautiful, and now they have Soul. They have Baron. They're up 6,000 gold. Elder spawning, and yet again, Lotus not letting TFT get anywhere near the objective. They find 4 kills, no Elder needed, and Lotus gonna take down Team Fish Taco in 2.
Not even the strength of the full roster for Taco able to stop the might of Lotus. That advances them into the quarterfinals in what was a pretty big series for them. You know, similar as we were talking about with Ole Miss, they were kind of on that bubble of potentially being outed by another team if they were able to go on a run, someone like Taco or CCG. So making sure that Taco is not one of the teams that can do that, and making sure that they are a team to get those 10 bonus points to win their group, definitely very big.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but Lotus has actually completely tied themselves with Ole Miss in promotion points with this win, getting first place in the group. So that is a really big deal. But, Grapes, we still have one last highlight package to get into, and it was another doozy. We can get started with Reluminate BlackRock, where BlackRock, they pulled out the Nocturne Orianna here in game number 1, and they find a nice couple of kills around the Void Grubs.
I will say, Nocturne Ori's been very strong here in the qualifiers, and I think BlackRock are one of the better teams I've seen actually utilize the duo in these team fights. We're going to jump all the way ahead to 34 minutes. This is a really back and forth game. BlackRock and Reluminate continuing to trade all of these kills. You see Decoy trying to jump in, getting canceled by the gold card, but that's not going to matter as Sushi really, really strong on the Ashe.
Yeah, I mean, Sushi just going absolutely crazy. The sustained DPS from that, the Nocturne, the Orianna as well. Or Illuminate, they tried to play the more 1-3-1 Twisted Fate style, but Nocturne is just so good into that, and it does not really work out for most of the game. However, this team does still have great shot calling, very decisive. They picked up a Baron there for themselves, but there's just no stopping that Nocturne Orianna freight train. They don't have the damage, they don't have the tankiness. I want to give a shout out to Pocus on the Braum this game. Did a ton of work.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good Braum pick if you just look at the comp that Reluminate were able to bring out, but he used it successfully right around the Elder Dragon. This was one of the final fights. Is BlackRock able to close things out here? They're going to run it down with the Elder Dragon buff. One more attempt for Hyphy on this Nocturne, and that's going to do it. BlackRock, despite being the lower seed, are going to take this first game of the best of 3.
It was a really close one. Took them nearly 44 minutes to get it done. Reluminate did a great job of fighting back for most of the game, but Grapes, it felt like in most of the fights, BlackRock had their number. It was too difficult for Reluminate to get a foothold on the map, and now this team that I predicted to win 2-1 last week, they have already given up their one, and BlackRock wants to close them out right here, taking down the mid-tier 1. But here comes the collapse from Reluminate, and look at Papa on the side. Everything goes wide with the initial skill shots, but he's still able to find one reset. Now on to Hyphy. He's able to find a second one off of the back. Decoy trades one back, but a good charm onto Sushi. They're going to find him as well. That's a triple kill to the Reluminate mid, and now they're up a good amount of gold.
Wow, look at that, 15-3. A lot of good Ari performances so far in this week's qualifier. Didn't notice that until watching all the games back and forth. Sushi again, playing very well on this Xayah, finding good ultimates, finding good spacing angles, but Reluminate are a little bit too far ahead here. They're going to try to fight around the Baron. Zalt now on the mid Smolder has the opportunity to get some executes down, but it looks like Reluminate just a little bit too tanky, and Papa now goes legendary on the Ari.
He goes legendary. Crucial, by the way, he's going to live. Aatrox, he heals for
Lord.
so much. He's back to full. Here they all come. Nobody dies. Reluminate, they secure a Baron. They got those kills as well. And now this is going to be the final fight of the game as they've already picked off Hyphy. Decoy teleports in only to die. And here come the TPs. Reluminate, they're going to cut off the escape route for Sushi, Zalt, and Pakis. And Grapes, it was another long one. It was a bit of a boring game. It took us a while to get into the action, which is why the highlight reel started at like 20 minutes. But we are going to yet another Game 3.
Yeah, you got a late game Smolder. You're going to be able to keep things alive at least for a little bit. And hey, it's our last series, so we got to show another ASOL game. This time for Papa on Reluminate. And if you have been keeping track of the win-loss record, you might know it might mean some good things here for our blue team. Papa just continuing to blow out the fire breath, was not touched once throughout that entire engage, winning that one, and now a huge ultimate hit from him as well.
Yeah, skies descend upon BlackRock. Look at this. He's just Wing forward, continuous breath of light. I mean, Papa, what a series for the Reluminate mid laner, really showing up big time in this one. It is a massive lead. Again, a long game, but relatively clean. Sushi got fed on this area, but it doesn't matter. He goes in, he dies. Crucial finds the scoop. It will be an ace in the base with Baron in hand. Reluminate GG. They're moving on to the elimination match. BlackRock, unfortunately, their season, or rather their split, ends here.
Yeah, some really impressive performances from Hyphy and Sushi, specifically from BlackRock, but I think overall Reluminate were the better team. You know, they played more one-sided wins than BlackRock was able to do. And by the way, Aurelion Sol 4-0 this weekend, 44-24 in the KDA department. This is a very strong pick, especially here in Tier 3.
Yeah, we can take one final look at the Group D standings. Once again, congratulations to Lotus for getting out of the group as the first seed. A massive, massive, massive win for them when it comes to promotion points. Team Fish Taco against Reluminate Grapes. This is going to be a good one. Team Fish Taco feels like they're struggling a little bit. Reluminate, this is a team that we said might be dangerous. And even though it wasn't super dominant against BlackRock, I think overall they had the series pretty well in control, but we've got some content left to do.
Yeah, speaking of the winners of Group D in Lotus, they of course brought in a new jungler to their lineup in the Odd Orange, who actually has a little bit of history with their former jungler and current coach, Frost4. You know, so a lot of collegiate back and forth here, and we decided to settle this little rivalry with a game of jungle clearing competition. So let's pull up that clip right now. I'm here with the Odd Orange and Frost4 jungler and now head coach for Lotus Esports. Guys, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Great.
Nate, I'll start with you. Did you ever think you would be on a team with somebody from Winthrop University?
Probably not, no. I guess not.
We lost to Winthrop 3-1 in the finals. Since then, I've hated that school.
Chan's one of the few guys who I've been friends with in my entire time in the collegiate space. You know, one of the people I've stayed in touch with and that I actually like over at Winthrop.
Kind of a nice chill guy. It's never like personal, let's say. Only in game is it personal.
So we're gonna see which of you two is really the better jungle clear, which of course is the true definition of which player is better. I have a wheel of 10 champions. Whichever champion it lands on will be the champion you have to clear all 6 camps on the fastest from level 1. We'll do a best of 3, so the first to do 2 clears faster wins.
It's not one of my strengths, I'll be honest. I'm a pretty good mechanical player, but my clear speed is,
How do I say it? I'm gonna mock him. Yeah.
Here's the first spin of the wheel. We're gonna do it right now.
This Jan keeps lagging.
Oh,
No way!
There it
is! Wow.
Alright, Lee Sin.
Chan, do you get base attack speed
Yeah.
from Alacrity?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you do.
3%?
3%.
3%?
So you're gonna start on the top side. So you're doing single camps first.
Lee Sin cooldown and the energy helps a lot too when you get to blue buff.
Okay, early smite.
Oh, it's the ghost quick across.
Okay, okay.
Oh, I actually entered.
Oh,
I actually entered.
no.
I actually entered so hard.
I think you're fine. I think you're fine. Yeah. Oh, this brings
Oh,
your time
dude,
up a
I'm
little bit.
actually stuck.
Oh no!
Oh, the ward hop!
Okay, mechanics. Okay. Okay.
Okay, good tech.
Green
Boom.
18 for
18.
That's bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Great
You might
There
have
we
Not bad,
go.
not bad. I'm actually scared now.
Oh, is Fleet good? I think
Oh,
Fleet might be good. Dude, that's some
Wait.
big brain stuff right there.
You didn't know. You didn't
You
know.
hit the tech.
There's so much pressure. No.
It's okay. You can always use the excuse like, hey, I haven't practiced too much. You know, I'm just coaching now.
Yeah, actually,
I
you
do.
have it.
Here we go.
Oh, dude, it's a wrap. Oh, shoot. Oh,
on
no.
the last tick.
Dude.
Wait.
Oh, that was a clean Raptors right there.
What's gonna be close? Oh, because you're going to cue the wall. It's going to be close. Oh, no, I think you got me. But you used your... Oh, no, he's got it.
Oh wow.
Dude, I thought I smurfed it, and then I...
315.
I messed up a little bit too.
Coach takes game 1. Here we go.
Back.
Spin it again.
Back to the wheel. Back to the wheel. Oh, is Vega?
Oh.
Oh. I'm down. I'm down though. I'm down.
Dude, I haven't played... When's the last time you played Olaf?
Alright, I'll give you attack. It's fine.
I think it's double adaptive, because your attack speed's gonna be pretty high.
Oh, it's too late.
You.
Oh, are you in the tower tech? Yo, you might be too low.
Oh, so we're about to practice tool of 1v9? Like, what is this? No, dude.
Yo, that's a little scuffed. I don't know, man.
Okay. You want me to?
It's okay. It's okay.
No,
it's okay.
no. If you're allowed to do that,
Yeah,
I'm
just
gonna
Nate's allowed to do it too. No,
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm allowed to do it.
Alright, that's fine.
It's gonna be faster, I think. Dang, I think you could have gotten lower.
I have fleet forward.
Need one more auto. Oh no!
It's
GG.
so
Oh
That's
no!
GG. Thank you.
It's
Thanks to
easy.
heaven. Chan, you gotta go get that.
dude.
You gotta go get it, bro. You can still win. Full sell.
Yeah, you gotta finish. You gotta finish.
I'm so tilted.
No, I'm gonna.
Alright, 337.
337.
I'm going to take E seconds, so I will not have the increased attack speed. So I will probably get actually really low.
If you die, I think it's
If
over.
you die,
I know, but I'm
Don't die.
I think it's GG.
We need a
I'm not
game
a-
3.
Let's see. I don't know if I can take E seconds. I might actually die. No, I won't die.
Nah. Just kidding.
All right, can you got a minute and 10 seconds to clear the last 3 camps. You think you can do it?
Oh no, you're gonna lose. You missed.
What do you think you could get on this if you really perfected it? Like
I mean, definitely under 3.
yeah.
Wow,
for
the
sure.
BM at the
I
end.
thought it was not BM.
Okay, it comes down to one more.
We gotta do rock, paper, scissors, or we flip a coin for who goes first. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Which
Yes. I
Nah,
got
bro,
scissors,
you were
I got
hella
You
delayed.
got it.
No, I wasn't.
It's just lag. It's just lag.
Yeah, it's fine. So I'm
All right,
capping.
Frost, you going first or second?
Second, baby. Second,
All right,
baby.
you're chasing. Here we go. The
Those
last
are down.
spin.
No Zinzao, no Wukong. Those are boring.
Dude, that's
Give me,
so
like,
boring. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
wow.
yes.
You're cooked, actually. Cooked.
Am I? Dang. I'm not even gonna overthink it, so I'm just gonna play. See, this is gonna be bad.
Oh wait.
Oh. Had to use the W.
Chan, you have me up.
What?
I don't know.
That
Yo,
scared
you're-
me. I thought I reset it.
Too close for comfort. This is
A little bit,
terrible.
yeah. I think
All right, 313.
13.
13. I think you did most of the tech right. For all the marbles.
Oh, this one. Okay, I didn't do that.
Close.
But you didn't ghost again. You didn't
You're
ghost
right.
Krugs.
This might be the difference.
Dude, if you
Oh,
beat me
wow.
without ghosting, you did.
got
'Cause
13
I had
seconds,
my
Chen.
smite. He's already quicker. He's quicker. I smited instantly. Oh, hold up. Oh.
Nah.
There we
messed
go.
up last part.
By 2 seconds,
2 seconds.
Frost Forest wins.
Alright, Chan, just play this weekend, honestly.
First and foremost, thank you, my fans. Appreciate it. Second, hit that practice tool, buddy. You got this.
Thank you very much, Auto Orange and Frost Forest. Best of luck this weekend in the quarterfinals, and let's get back to the show.
And
Thank you.
thanks again to Odd Orange and Frostboar for joining Grapes on that Jungle Clear contest. That was definitely a lot of fun to watch them going at it. Missing the Raptor, maybe a little bit sad for Chan right there. But hey, he bounced back, was still able to win it overall. But Grapes, before we get into our live segments, let's take a minute to look at where our championship points now stand.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that ended up happening. As we said, the point standings on your screen right now. Every winner of the group won 30 points. Every winner of a lower bracket matchup won 20. And of course, there were some teams that we had to say goodbye to, namely ISU, as well as, actually, they're the only team, oh, and BlackRock as well, 7th and 8th. They are no longer eligible to make it to the Merge Tournament, obviously, because they're eliminated from this qualifier, which leaves us basically with these 6 up here, with Blue Water, Winthrop, Lotus, Ole Miss, CCG, and Pulse. Everybody else in that second half are going to have to win the tournament, essentially, in order to make it into the tournament.
Yeah, and some notable changes as well that I want to point out. We talked about the importance of Lotus taking first in Group D. We said they were tied in championship points with Ole Miss. Obviously, they're 20 ahead because they have found that additional win so far. However, I should clarify, they have the same point potential. If Ole Miss is able to take down Wang's Revenge, these two teams will be completely tied in Grapes. By the way, if Ole Miss wins that game, that will be our quarterfinal matchup. Battle for the promotion tournament between Lotus and Ole Miss. Winner likely goes, loser likely goes home. In addition as well, Lotus winning that series and getting the extra 10 points for getting out of the group puts them 25 ahead of CCG. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Grapes. I don't think there is any scenario in which CCG can make only semifinals and make promotion. I think they have to make finals or better.
Yeah, I was talking about this actually with Auto Orange and Frost after we was filming that video, and I think the way that it goes is that Lotus, even if they lose to Ole Miss in the quarterfinals, will make it as long as CCG doesn't actually win the entire tournament, or at least go to the finals, because that would put them at 165 to 150. So yeah, CCG going to need finals at the bare minimum to pass Lotus or Ole Miss in that situation. That's a hard ask, even for a team that is pretty solid and has been looking like one of the stronger teams.
Yeah, especially when in that potential Ole Miss Lotus matchup, if it were to happen, Lotus could very well take that one, and I'm sure we're expecting that to be a very exciting matchup nonetheless. But yeah, Ole Miss and Lotus both theoretically being 25 points ahead of CCG. Guys, your OQ games matter if you're ever wondering if those 5 points are really that big of a deal. Grapes, it's also worth noting that Winthrop University and Blue Otter have locked promotion. Congratulations to them for getting it done. They are our first 2 teams locked in. In addition, after the results of the NACL last weekend, we know who both of our promotion participants are from our parent league, Lit Esports and Mirage Alliance, will be slotting in down there. So we already have 2/3 of our promotion teams decided.
And of course, we put an asterisk next to the numbers of the seeds for Winthrop and Blue Otter because their seeding could change depending on how the rest of the results go. So these games still matter a little bit here for Winthrop and Blue Otter. Seeding is important, at least in some capacity, for this eventual promotion tournament. As we mentioned earlier, if Ole Miss end up beating Wang, which remember Debonair said that wasn't going to happen, so we have to take that with a grain of salt, the winner of that quarterfinal series would be one of the next 3 teams, and then we would have to see after that. And you can watch the NACL Spring Promotion Tournament the day after the NACL Finals, actually, from April 2nd to April 7th, 2024, right here on twitch.tv/LCS_challenges.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. For sure, you're not going to want to miss promotion. 2 spots up for grabs for the remainder of Lotus, Ole Miss, CCG, and the rest of the field. But Grapes, with now only 12 teams remaining in our tournament and in the hunt for promotion, and us being in a, totally lucky and superstitious time of the year, we got St. Patrick's Day coming up and that kind of thing, we decided to take advantage of this with this week's live segment, introducing Tier 3 Zodiac signs, where we have each grouped each of our teams based on their zodiac signs, as well as then assigning a specific sign. So there's groupings of zodiac signs based on like the classical elements: fire, water, air, earth. And then Grapes, we have zodiac sign of the teams, and this says something about how they play.
Yeah, there are 12 different teams, 12 different zodiac signs. About half of the people watching are super excited. About half the people watching are very not excited for this segment. Let's get right into it. Now, there are 4 different elements out of the 12 zodiac signs. We're going to start off with the fire signs. These are groupings of people that are bold, fun, and charismatic. And these are the signs that they're associated with, and these are the teams we think belong in this category. Now, for each of them, we've assigned a specific zodiac symbol. Of course, for Taka, we have Sagittarius. Ole Miss is the Leo, as they're a very confident yet maybe mischievous bunch. And of course, Aries going over to Lotus. We also have a little fortune that we're going to be delivering for each of them about their potential future.
And just like actual zodiac fortunes as well, they're really generic and could probably apply to every team, but each of these teams could still glean inner meaning from it. For example, Lotus, focus on what you must do, not what others can do for you. They want to try to control their own destiny. By winning this past weekend, they are in command of whether or not they make promotion, Grapes.
Yeah, and for Ole Miss, a very similar one. The path to your destiny may not be what you expect. There is a world where Ole Miss loses their game against Lotus in the quarterfinals if they end up beating Wang and still making it into the promotion tournament because they would be in the same boat as Lotus. So they just got to stay positive. Both of these teams still have a chance despite the loss, and I think just having a competitive series is going to be very important for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, again, bold, fun, charismatic. Grapes, a running theme for all 3 of these teams is that they have some big personalities. Odd Orange, Shogo, your Uncle Sam, Levitating Snow, all kinds of players that love to talk the talk. But Grapes, we got 3 more categories left to do, so we can move on to our next one, which is going to be our water signs. Much more reserved, intuitive, protective, resourceful. These are teams that are able to find the hidden angles that might not always have been there. We have our Scorpio, Nigel's Last Tiles, our Pisces, Reluminate GG, and of course, our Cancer, Polestar.
Man, you know, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm very happy about this, and now I'm a Nigel fan, I guess, for the rest of the qualifier. Hey, they're brave, they're calculating, sounds just like me, sounds just like Nigel.
Who was our Aries? Who was our Aries on the last slide?
It was Lotus. They were
Shout out Lotus!
Right. Yeah.
Let's go.
For Nigels, for Reluminate, both definitely teams that are severe underdogs. And both of them are going to have to go off course to win this race or see the bigger picture in terms of qualifiers. Not only is this a good opportunity for them to, you know, pick up some good competitive wins, but also just to build your resume a little bit as well. Not in a great position to make it to the promotion tournament this year, but we have seen some solid performances from both of these squads that they can hopefully build on in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also have, you know, teams that have a lot of potential, right? They've not quite made it to the promised land, but they can, if they are intuitive, protective, and resourceful, they will be able to do it. But Grapes, still a few more signs. We can keep it on trucking. Now we have our air signs. They're curious, ever-changing, social. They are teams that seemingly you never really know what to expect from them. I think nobody really exemplifies this quite like CCG. Very curious, very unpredictable. A team that we are certainly curious in, but they want to make sure to not burn out too hard alongside their other cohorts here.
Yeah, I mean, remember that series against Ole Miss? Ole Miss were ahead in a lot of the games that they played against CCG, and so in order to continue to have a good showing as they play against harder and harder opponents, you know, assuming as they go throughout the tournament, they're going to need to make sure they rein in that curiosity, that unpredictability a little bit, just to make sure they're on the right foot. Gentle Hearts, very playful and expressive team. We've seen them have some pretty good moments. Another Ace-Soul game for Arian Dell. And they might be met with a pretty solid challenge against these opponents here, the Nameless.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we got our Group A representatives right here. I love this Nameless team. They have been one that I think we have not really known what to expect from them, but they have continued to actually really impress us. And they've had particular players that we will definitely have our eyes on as things progress. So yeah, I mean, seeing the Nameless play this well has been a lot of fun. Also, in regards to Gentle Hearts, playful and expressive, I would agree with that because Rox and Noribi were playing around quite a bit in that game that we played, Grapes.
Almost a little too much. You guys got close to maybe losing that one here. Keeping
not
the
even
record
close.
a little bit alive, but that is it for our air signs. Let's move on to our final grouping of teams. Bringing it down to the earth. These guys are practical, they're logical, they're patient, they're objective-oriented. A lot of them like to play towards the late game, as we see here with Blue Otter, I think, specifically. And these are some of our rock-solid teams. They've been in a pretty similar position throughout the entire tournament, some of them in different positions than others.
Yeah, Grapes, I feel like regardless of whether they like to scale for late game, these teams are seemingly unbreakable in many ways. Blue Otter, Winthrop in particular, it feels like they have no obvious weaknesses as a team other than maybe themselves at times. And maybe that's Winthrop. Your biggest obstacle will not be an enemy because they maybe are at times their own biggest obstacle. But I mean, these are teams that are just so difficult to break. And for Wang's Revenge as well, this is one that even in their defeats, it feels like they're playing very well together as a team. They stay rock solid like the earth.
And as one giveth, one must taketh away. They got a big matchup against Ole Miss, and they got to remember, they are going to have to focus their resources in one area or another because, you know, that's just going to be how you play against a team like Ole Miss as the underdog. Make sure to play through a single win condition. I think the top side of their map specifically is very, very strong. And maybe something that Wang can exploit a little bit if they want to be able to take that win. But hopefully you have all been, you know, enlightened a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe learned a little bit
Grapes,
something about yourself as well.
I feel like I learned something about the future. You know, I feel like we've really said something here. We've connected on a spiritual level. I don't know.
Well, I know I'm rooting for Wangs. That's what I know at this point.
Right.
Or
yeah,
sorry,
exactly.
for Nigel's. That's my team. I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, right. And I'm rooting for Lotus now because they're an Aries. We also got word. Shout out our producer, Camcom, making us look so great right now. They are a Leo. So they're maybe an Ole Miss fan, which,
okay.
Grapes, we'll see how that one works out because it seems like we might be at odds with each other next Sunday if Ole Miss is able to get it done on Saturday. So Cam, I don't know. We'll be keeping an eye on that.
All right, well, we're headed into our final 10 minutes or so, which means it's time to bring up some of our consistent segments of the week here on Tier 3 tonight. Starting off with, of course, our power rankings. We'll pull those up right now. Some big changes because of some of the results that ended up happening. Most notably, we have a new #1 team, Hawk and CCG.
Yep, CCG, they climbed their way to the top as they were one of the 2 teams to get a 2-0. However, Lotus's, they're all the way down to 5. It was not a very impressive 2-0, Grapes. CCG's, they fought tooth and nail for it. Winthrop, they're still going to be right behind them, even though it was a 2-1 against what on paper is a weaker team than Ole Miss. I think that this is a team with their dominance specifically in games 2 and 3 should still be at the top. Blue Otter retaining their spot. I think another notable change, Grapes, to point out, Pulsar up to this top 6 that we thought might be nigh unbreakable. And Team Fish Taco has forfeited their right to that claim.
And the top 6 is no more. Now Pulsar in that running as well. Reluminate also a pretty solid team. You know, they lost that first game to BlackRock, but played some very convincing wins after that. We have them now in our top 8. We have Gentle Hearts on the outside looking in, followed by, of course, Wang, Nigels, and Nameless. But I think the big thing, Hawk, is that, especially towards the top of the table, it's getting harder and harder to determine who really is at that top 4.
Yeah, and at this point, maybe it is a top 5, right? And one team out of Ole Miss, CCG, or Lotus is going to be on the outside looking in, and it's going to be crazy. Team Fish Taco, they have a chance to redeem themselves and reclaim their spot amongst the top 6 Grapes against Reluminate and then going into quarterfinals. We're not selling the farm on this team yet. However, I'm not going to lie, we're a little nervous heading into this weekend. But we can go ahead and flip it on over to our team of the week now, where we can see the players that impressed us in each of their roles throughout the week. A lot of familiar faces here, players that have won it before. Denethor, actually everyone on this list has won it at least once before. Denethor, Kryra, Samakin, Shogo, and Mixture. But I want to point out Kryra on the list from a great series, particularly games 1 and 2 for Pulsar, in a week where, Graves, I don't think junglers really stood out too much, and Kryra was definitely the biggest proponent of Pulse's success in those close first couple of games. Unfortunately, standing right next to him, Samakin did some evil things, particularly on the Zoe.
Yeah, there were a couple of people that I think could have fit into that mid lane position. I think Papa had a really good series for Illuminate. Bradley, once again, on CCG, like with the ASOL in game #1. But Samakin really impressed us with that Zoe and the Vex in game 3 as well.
One of the most 1v9 games I've ever seen in my life. So.
Exactly. And I think that alone is enough to kind of propel him up a little bit here. We also have Shogo, who got 2-0'd, but if you look at the KDAs and just how he was playing the game as well, I think it honestly does make sense to kind of stick him in here, even though there were 2 other ADCs that ended up getting pentakills. Shout out to Nightstar and Deathwalker as well. Mixture, very solid series, even though that Taco, you know, best of 3 was a little bit wild. And then we got Denethor up in the top lane doing Denethor things.
Yeah. Hey, the Taco best of 3 may have been a little wild, but Mixture did play really well. Also, we have Mixture's actual photo now. It's not the cat anymore, Drake. So we've got Mixture with the actual photo. Had a great series. This has been one of the newer names in the space that I've been so impressed with in 2024. To see him playing so well on what is now a very experienced Lotus roster with the substitutions coming in for this tournament. I mean, this is a stacked team, and Mixture has stacked up right alongside them, getting his 2nd player of the week. And yet again, Denethor up there in top. Grapes, I do want to give a shout out to Nodal, the top laner of Nigel's Last Tiles, was a name that we actually tossed into the ring for this top lane race. Unfortunately, it's so hard to not give it to Denethor. At this point, it's like him and Shogo in their roles. It's like, wow, they're so consistently very good, but Nodal did work for Nigel's in their series against ISU.
The only game he lost, the game he accidentally took Smite. I think that is the best way to put it. You know, he was able to win the other games where he had real summoner spells, man. So shout out to Nodal, shout out to Nigel's again. Now my team, thanks to the Zodiac signs. We'll be rooting for them as we go into the rest of our games.
Yeah. absolutely. Speaking of the rest of our games, Grapes, let's go ahead now and look at the upcoming schedule. Here's what we got queued up for you all on Saturday with the stream links. As a reminder, make sure to tune in to all the community streams. Every single game will be streamed live across the community on Aegis, Running the Rift, Mad Magical, Salty Runback, and the Salt Mine. Do not miss a beat. Make sure you follow all those Twitch channels. Stay tuned on Twitter for updates. Grapes, I think ones that really stick out here. I mean, honestly, all of these should be very competitive on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm looking at Ole Miss Wang again, just because that was already a series that have happened, and also a series that Wang actually took Ole Miss to 3 games. Getting to talk to Debonair a little bit, we heard how he was feeling more confident about how they thought the team could, could draft a little bit better, play their macro out a little bit better, and have a solid chance against a team that is fighting for that spot in the promotion tournament. That's going to be on Mad Magical stream. Make sure to check that out. I'm super excited about that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give a shout out to that Group A match as well. Gentle Hearts against the Nameless. Even though Gentle Hearts, I think it's fair to say they're the favorites. The Nameless, a team that has continuously outperformed expectations, and Grapes is one of our air signs. Maybe they can improvise something, manage to pull out a win, and continue to elevate themselves. What a story it would be if they made the knockout stage. But we can go ahead and flip on over now to our Sunday games. Of course, we do not know all of the matchups, but we have Winthrop, CCG, Blue Otter, and Lotus awaiting their opponents. Some critical matchups. We've already talked at length about the potential promotion match between Lotus and Ole Miss if that one were to happen. Other big ones, CCG against quite a strong Pulse Star, as well as Winthrop against a potential Team Fish Taco.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now again, and things get really interesting if upsets do end up happening. If things go according to plan, we're in kind of a situation where Winthrop Blue Water are locked, and then one of CCG, Lotus, or Ole Miss will be making it through. However, there is definitely a world where we see something ending up different, and I think the big thing is that CCG are on Winthrop's side of the bracket. That means that if they want to make a finals run, which, as we said, is probably what they are going to have to do to make it the promotion tournament off of points, they're going to need to take Winthrop down, and that is one of the stronger teams that we have, 1 and 2 in our power rankings.
Yeah, and that is going to be a tall task for them. What a series that may be if it does transpire, but of course, they got to get there. Like we said, teams like this Polestar one, not pushovers in their own right. I also want to point out, I think the dankest timeline is that Wang wins both their series next weekend and throws the entire promotion, like championship points into complete chaos if they manage to take down both Ole Miss and Lotus back-to-back.
I think it would probably knock out Ole Miss, and then if depending on what happens with Taco and Pulse, like things start to get crazy there.
Be chaos.
Yeah, because man, there's too much to think about right now. Yeah. If it happens, we'll end up talking about it next week because it would be by far the biggest storyline of the previous week of games.
Yeah, absolutely. But Grapes, we are coming towards the end of our show. We've got about 5 minutes remaining. Oh, wait, sorry. Before we get there, we need to look at what our Tier 3 tonight match of the week is. Now, Grapes, we didn't really talk about this one before, but we alluded to it way in the past. Group D. This one is going to be interesting. Team Fish Taco against Reluminate. It's a struggling former Titan against a pretty strong upstart that has come into the second tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Taco, I feel like didn't even get a chance to play a real series last week against Lotus, unfortunately, where they kind of had the issues in game 1, and then I can't imagine the team's mental is that great after all that happened for that game number 2, and so chance to reset, and all of a sudden it really is do or die. I think on Cam's spreadsheet that they made, there was like maybe 1 out of the 2,000 potential situations left where Taco can make the finals and still qualify off of points. They need to win the whole thing at this point. This roster was built to do that. They want promotion. They've had people who've done it before, all 5 of them, in fact. And it starts right here against Reluminate, and that could potentially cause some trouble.
Yeah, and I think dominance is something in particular that we're going to need to see from this team. In addition, this will be streamed on Salty Runback at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, as with all of the Tier 3 Tonight matches of the week. Grapes, it's going to be a great weekend. We've also got the potential Miss Lotus game as well, so it's going to be a lot of fun. But now it is time to get into everyone's favorite and final segment, the top 5 plays of the week.
A lot of them to choose from because there were so many games. Let's get into our top 5 plays of GSL Week 2 of the second qualifier. Starting off with number 5, Gentle Hearts versus Winthrop. I want to shout out Soul again here. It was the Ace Soul that we were talking about, but it's this Soul on the Gnar with a 5-man ulti to get Gentle Hearts back into this game.
Yeah, shout out to Wokow, honestly, for making that team fight last way longer than I had any business with getting the Kindred ulti down. But yeah, I mean, so finding that 5-man Gnar, that is exactly what you like to see. And we're not done with the Winthrop Gentle Heart series, as that was a beautiful double root from Sword, who he went crazy in this series, in this game.
She's so good at the Nico. Anything, any ability, he knows it to perfection. At our number 3 play, of course, it's the first of many base defenses by CCG Esports in their matchup against Ole Miss. The big ulti from Bradley, the big ulti from Yukino, and then watch Crimson here on the flank.
Yeah, I mean, this flank, just so beautiful. And honestly, this is one of those ones that's getting in the top 5 because of the stakes, right? The way CCG manages to find Shogo, force him to kite, and even though he does a lot of damage, imagine if he was DPSing the whole time untouched. It could have just been brutal. Instead, CCG, they managed to survive that game and get that win in 2-0 fashion. Moving in, though, to the number 2 play, Grapes. This is the pentakill that we didn't get to see.
Now, I have to admit, I cheated a little bit here. I might have included a couple of extra plays here as he rounded things down, but you can't blame me. Look at Nightstar here kiting on the Zeri in this game 2 against Wang. Going through the back line on a solo mission, as you say. And even though Wang's able to get a couple kills up front, watch the way he's able to flip over this wall.
Yeah, I mean, and the way everyone just gets so beautifully low for him, he can basically auto-attack him just once. Look at the confidence, the flash in from Rapid to try to stop him, but Nightstar barely has the damage as the pentakill comes through. And as you say, including a couple extra plays, we'll have a double number 2 as it's Deathwalker. We already saw this one, able to auto-attack him down on the on-hit Varus.
Yep, a little bit of an extended penta here. I would probably, well, like, there's the argument Nightstar's is more impressive, but he's playing Zeri also, so maybe it's less fair. Shout out to Nightstar, shout out to Deathwalker, both of them popping off here in this series, and that's going to take us to our number 1 play, or should I say number 1 plays. The number 1 plays of this game, just Samikin on the Zoe.
Yeah, let's just say the number 1 performance of the weekend, because truly, this was one of the most insane games I've ever seen. Me and 4x4 were losing our minds on the cast. Samikin starting off the game with a 1v3 to get himself going, and he was so far from done. I mean, in this fight, the AoE comes down from the squad as a whole, but this chase down was all Samikin. And, like, I think if the Sleepy Trouble Bubble doesn't land, the game is different. That shutdown going over to Lawrence was so big. Not only that, finding Kryra on the backside as well, they were able to take a dragon off of this that I don't think Blue Otter otherwise would have been able to get.
Yeah, really nice stuff. Really nice buffer in that little slow-mo replay. Shout out to Samikin and shout out to everybody who made our top 5 plays this week.
Yeah. And shout out to all of you out there that are here for our earlier time slot watching Tier 3 tonight. We will be back at the same time, same place next week. So it'll be 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern for next week. Finals week, we'll be back at our usual time more than likely, but at least next week, we will be at this earlier time slot. Want to give one more thank you as well to our production team, who every single week, we could not do this without Camcom as our technical director and Cyanidance for making all of our graphics and doing a lot of additional production work. I also want to give a big thank you to Rallycry and Riot for helping us put this show together, and Grapes as well to you for joining me. We've definitely had a great time. Only 2 weeks remain here for the qualifiers. Promotion tournament coming up in April. We are getting into the home stretch. It is the thick of the race. Only time will tell who is able to come out on top. But that's going to do it for us here at Tier 3 tonight. I've been Honk. That's been Grapes. And have a great rest of your day, everyone.